So before I tell you why YouTube is now on easy mode, let me just get a few assumptions out of the way. I assume that you actually want these things out of your business. The first is that you want consistent leads and sales that light up your CRM. Whatever it is that you use, you want to be able to see those notifications come in, and every single day you've got new contacts and new leads that you can start to warm up and nurture and eventually even sell to. You want to see this every single day on a consistent basis. The next thing is that you want evergreen content that works while you sleep. This one is super key because as a business owner, you have so many different things that you are doing. But if your content can be working for you while you sleep and it's able to last a long time, that will help you and it helps the long-term success of your business. Also, you want to build deeper trust with your potential buyers. So people who are potentially interested in whatever it is that you have to offer, if you can build trust with them, we all know that that formula that people buy from those that they know, like, and trust. So if you can build that trust with those potential buyers, then that just leads to more sales. I assume you also want a platform that compounds your efforts over time. It might start out really slow, but over time, you want something that continues to build upon all of the effort that you've done in the past. You also want to be seen as an expert and not just an entertainer. Even though you might like doing dances on TikTok, you might like doing funny prank videos, but you want to be seen as a real expert. You want to be taken seriously and you want to be seen as an authority, because we know that if you are seen that way, then people will be more likely to trust you and want to engage with you. And of course, a high ROI on your time. You want to make sure that whatever time you're putting into content creation or social media or marketing, you're getting a high ROI on your time and the money that you're looking to invest. Now, here are maybe some things that you don't want. You don't want to create endless short form content that disappears in 24 to 48 hours. If you ask me, all of the platforms like TikTok, Instagram, these platforms, you put out a post and it disappears after just a day or two. And so you don't want to be on that hamster wheel of always having to create this short form content. You also do not want to have to be trendy, funny, or viral just to get noticed. As I just mentioned, you might like doing that type of thing, but you don't want your business to be based off of how entertaining you are with some of those different trends. You don't want shallow engagement that doesn't convert. You want real engagement of actual people. And you don't want to build an audience of non-buyers. You could be getting millions and millions and millions of views on your content, but if they're not the right viewers, they may never buy from you. And as a business owner, this is really important. You also don't want content that doesn't point people toward your business or your offer. So again, kind of those non-buyers. You want something that's congruent to where your content is congruent with the actual service that you provide. And lastly, you don't want to constantly be fighting with the changing algorithms of social media. It seems like every week there's a new algorithm change on some of these different platforms. And for someone who wants to build a sustainable and consistent business through their content, you want something that's going to be reliable and something that you can trust for a long period of time. So let me explain how YouTube solves this and actually gives you more of the things that you want and less of the things that you don't want. And this is the main reasons why I believe that YouTube is now on easy mode for business owners and entrepreneurs. The first is that you get a longer shelf life on your content. Your videos are discoverable for months and years down the road. This reason alone is enough to go full in on YouTube. I've seen this happen multiple times across the different channels that I have monetized and even other channels that I've helped work on. If you create videos that are good and relevant, they will serve you for a long time, and they're discoverable for months and years, not just a couple of days. As business owners, again, we're trying to create leverage. So if we spend an hour creating content for YouTube, we have the potential of that period of time working for us long into the future, because the platform is a actual search engine. It's the second largest search engine, only behind Google. And each video has a much longer shelf life than any of the other platforms. This, again, is one reason and could be the only reason why you go full in on YouTube. Second, as I just mentioned, is searchable. So your ideal client can find you when they're already looking for certain problems, certain solutions to their problems. And if you're creating content that answers these questions, then you are right there when the buyer is ready and looking. So these are high intent viewers, people who are looking for exactly what you can help them with. And because this platform is a search engine, the search engine is just matching those questions of the viewer and the audience with the content that's relevant and that actually solves those problems. This all leads to that know, like, and trust factor, which ultimately leads to more sales. YouTube also allows you to become a authority builder because long form video builds more trust and credibility, much more than short form content, in my opinion. This video alone is going to be multiple minutes long. It's multiple times longer than a short form video. And so if you're watching up until this point, I've spent more time with you. You spent more time with me. And hopefully I'm giving you some good value, or at least some things to think about and consider. This allows me to build more trust and credibility with you in one single video versus maybe what would have to be 10 or 15 or 20 different short form pieces of content. And you may not be watching them all in a row. But on YouTube, you can have the opportunity to do a deeper dive into some different strategies and tactics like this video, show tutorials, and really build that authority that you have and help people with deeper level problems, or at least be able to demonstrate how you have helped other people with some of the same problems that the viewer might also be having. And leverage, I've used this word a couple times in this video already, but one video can generate leads, train clients, sell, and build trust all at the same time, and do so for a long period of time. So you think about even just one YouTube video, the power of that. If it's structured well, if it meets a pain point, if it presents a solution, and it shows maybe some credibility and authority on your behalf, that does so much for you just in that one video. And you created it once and it's discoverable for months and years to come. And you can always be sharing that video with people who it's relevant to. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with just one YouTube video. At the end of the day, if you want to repurpose your videos from long form, you can certainly do that for short form. So short form has its place, but I would say if you start with long form content, you can always chop it up and then repurpose it for short form content, as well as emails, blog posts, and other newsletters. And one of the biggest benefits to YouTube is that you don't have to post daily. You don't have to be on that daily grind of coming up with short form content like many of the other platforms. If you just do so strategically and consistently over time, then that will allow you to build your audience of people who are really interested in what you have to offer, what you help them do, and you won't have to be on that daily grind that is very common on the other social media platforms. And if you're thinking all of that sounds good, I want to jump into YouTube. Maybe you've been thinking about it for a while. How do I get started? Well, here is a 10-step action plan that you can start right now to get yourself on the right track when it comes to YouTube for your business. And if you want to get a copy of this action plan, I will put a link down in the description box below. Let me know where you want to receive it and I will send it straight to your email. So step number one is to define your ideal viewer or your ideal client. This is really important. And as a business owner, you probably already have your ideal client set. And when it comes to your YouTube channel, this is so key because everything that you're going to do around your channel and your videos needs to revolve around your ideal client. So for your ideal client, what problems are they having? What solutions are they looking for? What are their desires? If you can clearly define this, then you'll be able to clearly speak to them through each one of your videos. And this will be super key when YouTube is trying to understand what your content is about and to find your ideal viewer. The more specific you can be and the more consistent you can be with speaking to your ideal viewer, the better your videos are going to perform. Step number two is to brainstorm 10 to 20 different video ideas that solve actual problems. This is really key and especially important in the beginning as YouTube doesn't necessarily know what your channel is about. So it's important to have a plan of the different videos that you plan to create so that they all, again, revolve around that ideal client, but that they're all related in the same way. It's important to be consistent and have all of these videos be relevant around the same niche or topic so that YouTube can categorize it and again go out and find those potential viewers. So when it comes to brainstorming these 10 to 20 different ideas, what I would recommend is searching and looking at other YouTube channels that would be similar to yours. Get an idea of some of the videos that are performing well for them. And if those are videos that you can also put your own spin on, then I would potentially create those videos. Come up with a list of 10 to 20, write down some of those ideas, and then start a plan to actually create those, which then goes into step number 3, which is planning to create 1 to 2 videos per week. You don't have to overdo it in the beginning. You don't have to run a sprint. This is very much a long game and a marathon when it comes to YouTube. So if you can get out 1 to 2 videos per week, long form videos, that's going to be a really healthy cadence and frequency for YouTube to start to understand what your channel is about, and just something that's sustainable for you as a busy business owner or entrepreneur, because you're probably doing a lot of different things. But again, make sure that you have those videos that you're planning to create, and you can even batch record these videos in one sitting and one afternoon. So that way you have several videos that you can schedule out and publish without having to do so every single week. Step number 4 is to craft a click-worthy title. This is really crucial because one of the main sayings on YouTube is that if they don't click, that means they don't watch. When someone is deciding whether or not to click on your video, they're looking at a couple things. One is the title and the other is the thumbnail. And in the beginning, we're not going to get too complicated with the thumbnails, even though I do have a couple videos on the channel that show how you can create thumbnails for YouTube videos. The title is one that you can change pretty much instantly. And it's a high leverage adjustment that you can make with your YouTube videos. And if you can use inspiration from other videos or even AI to craft a really compelling title, that will allow you to get more clicks on your videos and consequently more views. Also, including some of those keywords in your title also helps YouTube to understand what your video is about. And again, YouTube is trying to match your content with potential viewers. So if it has some of the keywords that the viewers are searching for, then it could start to make those recommendations. Step number 5 is to record simple videos with great audio. Some studies have come out to say that viewers are more forgiving of bad video quality than they are of bad audio quality. If you can't hear me talking, or if it sounds muffled, or if I sound far away, then you probably will click off of this video, more so if the video was a little grainy or wasn't in the highest quality. So if you're going to invest in any equipment, then I would invest in an external microphone, either one like this podcast microphone I'm using right now, or some type of wireless microphone, one you can clip on your shirt. That's going to improve your overall video quality and just allow you to have a much more professional type of video for your viewers, and so that it doesn't distract them from the value that you're giving. Other than that, keep it super simple, and over time you can improve your camera setup, your lighting, background, all of that stuff. Step number 6 is to keep the editing light and simple. So with the editing, don't feel like you need to do all of the fancy editing and have all these transitions and pop-ups and music and sound effects, B-roll, all of that stuff. It has its place, of course, but in the beginning, you want to keep this very simple and you want to have a workflow that is sustainable. If you're providing good value at solving problems for your ideal viewer, then all of the extra stuff becomes less relevant and sometimes can just flat out take away from the value that you're giving. So focus on putting more value into the video versus dressing it up and spicing it up with all of these different effects. If you are going to do any editing, then what I would suggest is cutting out any fluff, any times that you're rambling, or even filler words. And there's some great software that you can use. I use a software called Descript that really helps with this. It's a text-based video editor. I call it the video editor for non-video editors, where you can edit your videos just like you would a Google document or a Word document. And when you highlight a sentence and delete it, it deletes that video clip. So it allows you to cut down your video editing time, but it also allows you to edit your videos with just text. Keeps it super clean and allows the pacing of your video to progress without there being a ton of fluff, And if you can reduce that, then less people will fall off and click off of your videos. Number 7 is to include a CTA in each one of your videos. We are business owners, we're experts, we're entrepreneurs. So we're on YouTube for our business or to build our personal brand. And each video is an opportunity to make a call to action. The call to action can be as simple and as low risk as them just subscribing to your channel, but it also can be to actually drive them to a sales offer that you have. And this is one of the main ways that you can actually leverage YouTube to grow your business, getting leads in sales. You can use that description box below the video and you can include those links there. I would recommend putting them towards the top of that description, so that way it's what's called above the fold. If you put those links right there at the top, they're more visible and more people will actually click on those links. Step number 8, this is somewhat of a repeat, but it's that important, but it's posting at least one video per week. I would say if you can create 1 to 2 videos per week, that would be best, but make sure that consistency is a part of your game plan, because being consistent on YouTube, if you're consistent, then it starts to build that trust with your audience. We're looking for those exponential results that come from posting consistently on YouTube. And unfortunately, you may not ever get there if you're not being consistent. So part of this action plan is to post at least 1 video per week. You can do it. Step number 9 is to track what's working and then double down on that. So as you are creating these videos and you have your 10 to 20, there's going to be some videos that perform better than others. Study that. Try to understand what's working about those videos. Is it the topic or the way that you presented it? Is it the title, the thumbnail? What is it about those videos that is maybe helping it perform better? There might be certain formats that you're creating your content with, like different ways of creating your videos. Take note of that and double down on what's working. It's also just as important to understand certain videos that maybe you put a lot of time and energy into and you thought they were going to work, but unfortunately, they didn't perform as well. Well, what are some things that you can change or maybe that you can abandon for next time? And if you go on this process of continually getting better, getting 1% better with every single upload, that's another YouTube saying, then you will exponentially get better at YouTube overall. This is an important step of this whole action plan. And step number 10 is to repurpose your YouTube videos across other platforms. If you have this core of long form, high value, densely packed YouTube videos, you can then leverage that to then post on all of the other platforms, including social, email, newsletters, all of that stuff. And again, if you want a copy of this action plan, make sure you hit the link down in the description box below and check out this video right here where I explain exactly how I would start a brand new YouTube channel for my business if I were to start from scratch. Thanks so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next video.